Hey guys, welcome back to the next episode of J and G Sports Network. I'm Jay, that's G over there,
Yo, what's up?
and we are here today with our friend Cole.
Hi, guys.
So today we have a guest on the show, obviously Cole. First time ever on a podcast. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm really excited to do this. It's actually pretty ironic. I'm on today. Just yesterday, I was trying to sit down and decide on my favorite basketball team to finally, be loyal to a franchise. And today I'm on this podcast. What are the chances?
Yeah, I mean, life comes at you fast, right?
Yeah.
One day you're picking up a basketball, the next day you're in the NBA. It's kind of how it's going. But yeah, no. So today we have NBA duo rankings. So basically what I did was I went on to 2K and I took the top two players from each team and like as their duo and averaged out their overall and put them in the bracket. Now, if you're injured, you are not part of this bracket. So people like Kawhi Leonard, Jamal Murray, people like that are not a part of this bracket because they haven't played. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it's for this season, not for all time. A couple of them were ticky-tacks. Like I do have Paul George in here, even though he didn't play a bunch. So like you know what I mean. That don't come at me. Come at 2K for that kind of thing. But yeah, you guys just ready to hop into this?
I'm ready.
All right. So the 1 and the 2 seeds both have buys. The 1 seed is Joel Embiid and James Harden, and the 2 seed is LeBron and Anthony Davis. So
I kind of saw that coming.
yeah, again, like I said, this is 2K's rating, not my personals.
Yeah.
So now the first couple rounds are gonna be kind of a landslide, but the 3 seed versus the 30 seed. The 3 seed is Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving against Jeremy Grant and Cade Cunningham. Obviously, I'm gonna vote for Kyrie and KD.
Yeah, Kyrie, KD's gonna, in my opinion, sweep them if we're playing 21. I mean,
I think if they're
Yeah, I
playing
don't think I
anything.
can disagree with any of that. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, these first couple rounds are gonna be kind of a landslide. I mean, I really do like Cade. He's been really good this year. But they just don't stack up to KD.
and who's the other one? Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, I'm sorry, they ain't holding them. Either Kyrie's gonna do his, best. He really, you know what I mean. He's gonna do his thing, and neither one of them are probably gonna be able to guard him because he's so damn slippery. And then KD's just gonna shoot over everyone.
Okay, so yeah, that was pretty easy. KD and Kyrie. Now the 4 seed versus the 29 seed, Giannis and Chris Middleton versus Wendell Carter and Franz Wagner. I'm gonna be honest, man. Franz has been killing it this year. Might sway the. No, I'm kidding. It's definitely gonna be Giannis and Chris Middleton.
Yeah, I agree with that one for sure.
Yeah.
Now it was tough because Chris Middleton and Drew technically tied for the same rating in 2K, but I feel like Middleton's obviously been there way longer, duo more than Drew Holiday. So
yeah,
that's kinda what,
I can definitely understand that. So for the other side, what you had, France and who?
Franz Wagner and Wendell Carter.
Oh yeah, they're sweeping them.
Yeah, and I mean, Franz and Wendell have both been fine this year, but yeah, like I said, they don't match up right now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's
Now the 5 seed versus the 28 seed, we have both all-stars in the 5 seeds, Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins, against Jalen Green and Christian Wood from the Rockets.
I think you know who I'm taking.
Yeah, I mean, Curry. I know Curry's been he's been struggling by his standards this season. Like I think he's having one of his worst seasons in a while. But I mean, it's still 10 times better than what Jalen Green is right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And Curry just isn't carrying the offense like he used to have to. He has a team around him that can really support him now, and he can really play off ball a lot more than he used to have to.
I mean, for real, why would Curry shoot when you could just hand it down to the cum bucket and just let him score?
Exactly.
But yeah, no, so that was pretty. I guess that was pretty easy. Let's get to the 6 seed here. So this one is Chris Paul and Devin Booker versus Anthony Simons and Yusuf Nurkic.
I like what Anthony has been doing lately, but I mean, you just can't compare those two duos. One was in the finals last season, the other wasn't.
Yeah,
I mean, if we're being honest, the only person that you could probably contend with anyone on this list is Damian Lillard, and he's just not playing.
Yeah, Damian Lillard's one of those guys where I'm like, do I put him on the list? But he's been out for so long, and I guess Paul George is on the list. So, like I said, it's really weird with some of these players, but don't really come at me for that kind of thing.
And plus, I feel like it's good to have Damian Lillard off the list because his future, in my opinion, is questionable with everything going on.
I mean, that's definitely possible.
And he would just boost to where they would actually be because of his probably 95 rating.
Yeah, it's in the 90s, but Anthony Simons, I think he's out for a week or two right now because he just had an injury. But he's been averaging 20 plus points. I mean, he's been I don't know. He kind of, I don't want to say he came out of nowhere because people have been seeing it for a while, but
he's got to sustain it over.
Yeah, I don't know if people expected him to really be holding on to it for as long as he has.
I mean, I just think this is a perfect example. Give someone minutes, they give you points, and they asked him to do something, and he did exactly what they needed him to do. So
the only thing I'm worried about is because after so many years, they finally broke up Dame and CJ. I'm worried they're going to replace CJ with Anthony Simons, and it's going to be the same exact thing all over again. A smaller backcourt of scores. That's kind of
I mean, if
that
they
just hasn't worked out for them yet.
Yeah.
If they do that, then they're going to need a small forward that can guard anyone and can go on the best offense.
I just don't know. I feel like at this point, if you're Portland, you set your rebuild, trade Dame, and just get as much as you can. Because obviously you have yourself a young star in Anthony Simons, so just don't take the ball out of his hands. Because Damian Lillard is going to take the ball out of his hands.
Yeah.
Just let Anthony run the team for a season or two. Get your players around him, and then but that's a lot of talk for an early round. The seventh seed is Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, and the 26th seed is Malcolm Brogdon and Tyrese Halliburton.
I like that second duo. I like what's happening in Indiana.
You're not wrong. I do agree with that. I think that trade came out of left field for pretty much everybody.
Yeah, gosh.
But Sabonis trade.
Yeah, but I do think, it's easy to say Sabonis is the all-star, the Kings got the best player, they win the trade. But Indiana has been stuck in the middle for so long. They've always been a low seed that makes the playoffs and they don't win anything. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's that tricky spot, especially because you're not going to get a very high pick unless you got one from a trade, and you're not. It's hard to draft in that middle area, in my opinion. Yeah, you don't know if they're going to be good or bad.
It is, yeah.
You get somebody like Tyrese who can play the two guard, can play off ball and have the ball. You're giving yourself a young potential all-star in this league. Potential, obviously. You needed to change something up because the team was the same team year in, year out, year in, year. It just wasn't working. So I like the fact that they traded. I think they got good pieces back. So I don't know. I like the direction, but obviously I think Butler and Bam are just the better duo at this point.
Oh yeah, you just can't argue with.
They're
stats putting out.
Yeah, they're also the 1 seed in the East. I mean, it's
Jimmy's Jimmy. I don't care who you are, he's gonna score his buckets, whether it's mid range or he's just gonna take it right to the paint on you.
Mm-hmm. Now, so 8 versus 25. The 8 seed, I think, mostly surprising team of the season, the Chicago Bulls of DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine versus. I think another surprise player in DeJounte Murray and Keldon Johnson.
Ooh.
DeJounte's been great this year. I've always been a really big fan of DeJounte Murray. He was all defensive second team his rookie year or second year. And then I know he dealt with some injuries for a couple of years. But he's really, now that I don't want to say now that DeMar's gone, but now that DeJounte has more opportunity. I mean, he was an all-star replacement, I'm pretty sure.
I think he might have been,
or he was in conversations for it. I don't remember off the top of my head right now, but he took that next step that the Spurs have been waiting for him to take, because he's always been very good defensively, and his offense it was always hit or miss, but he's consistently putting out 20 points a night, which is
something that they need at this point in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I got DeMar and LaVine because it's DeMar and LaVine. DeMar, it seems like he can't miss mid-range jump shots. and Levine's just gonna dunk on you. So
I've
Yeah.
always loved DeRozan. I love his playing style. Watching him on the Bulls, I have never had so much of a fun time watching basketball. It's just, I just love his on-court chemistry with the whole team, even like especially Zach. I don't know. I see them going high up in this bracket for me. I just love that duo.
Hell yeah, the trio of the Balzac.
Exactly.
I know the Bulls themselves have been kind of struggling the past couple of weeks. They're kind of falling down to the standings. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think this team's a real contender, but I don't think that really matters. I think the fact that they're even this good is great for Chicago.
Oh yeah.
Even if they do only win first round and lose second round, I think it's just great for the city to be back in the playoffs, have exciting basketball games. We really haven't seen exciting basketball since D Rose.
is Voos playing now, or
Dude, I don't know. He is just always
because I mean that's another aspect, because then you got those two, then you throw in Voos, who I think he can shoot decently.
Listen,
correctly.
I've had a hard grudge against Vucevic ever since 2K19.
Oh, I know. I was there for that.
So yeah, but everybody agreed. DeRozan and Levine there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now here's so 9 seed versus 24. You have the 9 seed of Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert against the 24 seed of RJ Barrett and Julius Randle.
Ooh.
I think. Obviously, I'm going to pick Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. RJ Barrett has been insane this season. I think people really started overlooking him because of the people that went in front of him in the draft with Ja Morant and Zion, and people just kind of pushed RJ away. But man, he came out this season. He's been so good this season. I think he just had a 40-some point game the other night.
He's had a few 40-point games lately. Yeah.
I mean, it's just been he's really starting to live up to that third overall pick.
Yeah. The only thing that I have on this is if we're talking about these two, if we're talking about Mitchell and Gobert versus Randle and RJ, if RJ and Randle get the ball first, they can space out, and then Gobert's basically on an island by himself out there trying to guard Randle.
The only problem is that Randle has a tendency of doing step back, spinning jumpers for no reason and missing, instead of just getting into the paint.
Yeah.
Every time I watch the Knicks, I'll see Randle get the ball, he do a crossover, get down into the post. He'll be backing a guy down, but instead of just backing down and laying him up, he'll do a spin, fade away, and just completely miss. I'm like, why?
Yeah, give me last year's Julius Randle in this duo competition. I think I'd pick them over Rudy and Donovan, but
not at this point in time.
Season. Yeah,
I don't know. I think either way, I'd still pick Rudy and Donovan, just because Donovan is just he's one of my favorite players in the NBA. Honestly,
I love him.
I mean, he's proven himself to be a playoff performer. Him and Jamal Murray were just throwing shots back into 50-point game. Just like I don't know. I think Donovan himself elevates that team over the Randle and Barrett, but that's my opinion on
that. I still think it's going to be close. If we have last year's Randle, it's going to be very close.
Yeah, and I'm a historic Rudy Gobert hater, so I'm always going to go against him. But yeah, I just can't argue here. They have to be the winning duo here.
I don't hate Gobert. It's just his name for DPOY has come up the last 5 years, and he's a 3-time.
It's fatigue.
It's just fatigue. I'm just getting tired of seeing him. I'd rather see Giannis win it or Jaren Jackson Jr.
Well, speaking of Triple J himself, up next in the bracket at the 10th seed is Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. against the 23rd seed of LaMelo Ball and Miles Bridges.
Ooh, oh no.
No, I think this one's a pretty clear cut in my opinion. It's Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson.
Yeah.
Ja Morant has just completely exploded this season. I mean, he went from a Verge All-Star to literally an MVP candidate. Now he's not going to win, but he's in the talks of it, which is it's insane. Jaren Jackson Jr. is, I think we found out last episode, is literally leading the Defensive Player of the Year race. And then I watched their next game. This man had 5 blocks in 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just for Ja, dependent on how this last stretch of basketball goes, how well he plays. And if Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis all fall statistical wise and their team doesn't do as good, and Ja leads the team and possibly gets the 2 or 1 seed in the West, I think Ja has a stronger foothold to get MVP.
I would like to see Ja win. I just think right now the entire world. I don't want to say the entire world, but I think the general consensus right now is that the MVP is between Jokic and Embiid. Not saying people aren't talking about Ja and DeRozan, but I think at this point it's just kind of like the two-headed monster that people are going to give their votes to.
And if I could vote, I would give it to Embiid. If we're talking between those two, if we're throwing Ja in there, I will vote for Ja.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I completely agree with you guys. I think it has to go to Ja and Jaren Jackson Jr. I just think even Ja and Desmond Bane could be up there too. Ja's just a god on the court this season, and he can match up with anybody on his team.
It's so much fun watching him play. He's just one of the most electric players of the team.
Yeah.
So next we have the 11th seed, which is Luka Doncic, and Jalen Brunson. So basically just Luka, and against Shea and Josh Giddey. Luka's one of the best players in the league. I think
he is, but it's the Brunson that gets me because I don't care. I think Brunson's like 6'2", 6'1". I know he's short, but then you got Josh Giddey, who I think is like 6'5". I think he's on the taller side for a guard, and Shea. I honestly got Shea and Giddey over Luka and Brunson.
I just think in my personal opinion, I don't think it matters who you put with Luka. I think Luka's star power himself just kind of elevates him over it.
Yeah, I just think Luka squeaks by because he's a duo in him. He could be a 5-man team in himself. He's just undeniable, but it is tough just because I know what Levi's saying with like the Jalen Brunson thing. I don't really see him up there.
Yeah, Jalen's been good this season. He's had a couple of breakout scoring games for sure. And like I definitely see that point of, are you going to pick the two guys over the one? But I just think, especially Giddey being a rookie, like he's been pretty good when he's played. But it's like I'm going to bank on that certified all-star or superstar over a young good all-star and a potential. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
at least as of right now. Like in the future, it definitely could be, but as of right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, that is not a knock on Shea or Giddey. Both are very exceptional talents. They're very good.
Yeah.
We're just saying that Luka and Brunson. You know what I mean?
So now we have the 12th seed, which is Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, the two Jays, against the 21 seed of Paul George and Norman Powell. Now, I know those two really haven't played together, so, it's kind of a weird – I don't think they played together, at least. The Clippers team is a really weird team because obviously it would be Kawhi and Paul George, which I think would be winning a lot more than this, like on the bracket wise.
Yeah, and I mean I think they would be up higher if it was those two.
Yeah, but it just with Kawhi being out all season, and Paul George missing a lot of the season too. It's just
you guys already know what my pick is. So.
Yeah, we got Mr. Celtic over there taking Tatum and Brown, but I agree with that pick too.
Yeah, I don't think I can argue with that as well.
I mean, Tatum has how many 30-point games this season? I think he's got like 1 or 2 50-point games this season too.
Man, ever since like the start of the new year of 2022, the Celtics completely flipped their season around.
Oh my god! I think it was the trade of Dennis Schroeder and getting a couple new guys in. Just revitalized everything. The defense started playing better. Rob Williams is just blocking everything, grabbing boards, getting double-doubles.
Don't think I forgot. You were not the fan of Robert Williams starting.
I am not the fan of Robert Williams starting because of his height.
But I think
that's the only reason.
Showing himself to size don't matter.
Yes, he has. And that reminds me, a couple years ago, I think it was his rookie year or second year in the league. He was guarding Anthony Davis, and Anthony Davis went for one of his post fade, and it's kind of just like KD. It's impossible to block, and he jumped up and blocked it. So
yeah, for sure.
That's when you knew.
That's it.
That's what I knew.
All right. So let's see. 13 seed. Where is it at? Okay. Now 13 seed's another one of those like one-man show type of things, but you have Jokic and Aaron Gordon versus Bradley Beal and Kyle Kuzma. I think Jokic just takes that.
Another just raw talent and skill. You can't deny it. Like, no matter who he's playing with, he is a team on his own.
And I mean, Aaron Gordon is not what he used to be, but he's not terrible.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon's fine. You know, he's not a bad player by any means, but like,
he's just not what he used to be.
You have an MVP candidate in Jokic, maybe the MVP frontrunner right now, and I just think I would take that over, you know, Bradley Beal and Kyle Kuzma, especially because Bradley Beal this season has not been, you know, the Bradley Beal of the past couple years, averaging 30. You know what I mean?
I mean, I know you love Kuzma, Paul. I know you love Kuzma.
Yes, my favorite player.
Hold up now. Because of the trade, Porzingis going to Washington.
Yes, I know, but he's barely played like at all for them.
Okay.
So that's why I picked Kuzma over Porzingis, because Kuzma's done way more for that team this season than Porzingis has.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to say something about that.
But so are we gonna agree on Jokic or?
Jokic. Because I mean, Beal will get his, but Kuzma just too damn inconsistent to do anything. And plus, like you said, Jokic he's just a beast.
Yes. These are gonna start getting closer. The 14th seed, another surprising team, is Darius Garland and wow.
Is it Mobley?
No, it's Allen. Wow.
Jared Allen?
Jared Allen. Wow. I completely blanked on that first name. That's my bad. Okay. Darius Garland and Jared Allen against the 19th seed of Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam.
I love Cleveland right now. They're just, I don't know. I just love the story of performing 10 times better than they were supposed to. So I'm going to have to go with the Jared Allen, Darius Garland duo.
They're giving LeBron a big F you right now by being better than the Lakers.
Oh, yeah. They are.
I got to go with Cleveland, too, because we talked about it last episode. Spicy P's good. He's just, I don't know. There's no flash. There's no, like, look at me. And I feel like when there's no look at me, it gets very easy to see what he's going to do. You know what I mean? There's no
like I said, I don't dislike Pascal at all, but I have a hard time watching him consistently. It's just so boring to watch. And like there's not even a fault to him. That's just how his game's played and he's good at it. It just
that one's gonna get some people shook if they watch it.
Okay, so here's maybe to start the season this one would have been a landslide, but with the recent trade and the way they've been playing since this trade, especially the player that was traded, I think it's a lot closer. You have the 15th seed of Trae Young and John Collins against the 18th seed of C.J. McCollum and Brandon Ingram. Now, I think going into this season, it would have been a Trae Young, John Collins sweep, easy slide. But the way McCollum's been playing since he's been traded has been insane. They've been running point McCollum, and he's been phenomenal.
I do agree with that, and in my opinion, I do have CJ and Brandon Ingram above Trae and Collins because I feel like that Hawks team is just the Trae show. If Trae doesn't do good, they're probably going to lose.
Yeah, but even when he does good, they lose sometimes.
But compared to the Pelicans, CJ could possibly have a bad game but still get like 8-9 assists. But Brandon Ingram goes off for like 40 points.
Ingram is that dude, man. He's so good.
Oh, yeah. Shout out. Go back to the last episode when I didn't know who Herb Jones is. Saw a video of Herb Jones throwing down on someone.
Dude, yeah.
Yesterday. He heard me.
He man's like, oh, you don't know who I am? Watch this.
Yeah, I seen it pop up on the ESPN notification. Herb Jones, threw that dunk. I'm like, okay, so I watch it. I'm just like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
What are you thinking, Cole? Who do you have for this one?
Yeah, I agree with you guys completely. I was never a big 3J guy, but once he went to the Pelicans, I kind of like him. I got respect for him, and he's working really well with that team. I love what Brandon Ingram's potential can be and how good he's getting. So that duo is just – I have a feeling they could be unstoppable for a season or two if they just click right.
Especially adding Zion.
Oh, my gosh, yeah, that would just be a matchup nightmare.
Yeah, if he comes if he comes back, then that'll be a matchup nightmare, especially if they make playoffs.
Hey.
They will potentially make some noise.
CJ came to
Yeah.
New Orleans and started bowling, and Zion's like, oh man, maybe I should show back. Is this our first ups? We're gonna take McCollum and Ingram over
Yup.
Young and Collins.
I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
Rating wise, it's upset, but in real life,
Yeah, I mean Trae Young's the best player of the three, I think. But I just think
Yeah.
it's Trae Young, then McCollum, Ingram, and then Collins, or like Ingram, McCollum. Either way you want to do it. I feel like
yeah,
Ingram and McCollum are just too much ahead of Collins. That it even
Yeah.
matters. Trae's the best player, in my opinion.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that kind of go against some of the stuff we said earlier, but it's fine. It's our episode.
I mean,
Let's see.
honestly, I like CJ and Brandon Ingram.
Yeah. Okay, so the last
more than
matchup of the
Trey
first round.
Collins.
Okay, we have the 16th seed of Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards against the 17th seed of the Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. Now, the ratings wise on this one are close, but I think Cat and Ant run away with this.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Karl Anthony Towns is, I think, one of the best big men that doesn't get the recognition that Joel and Jokic get. Like he's a really good player. He's just not on a really
Because
good
they weren't winning until this year. Nobody would talk about the guy on like one of the worst teams in the league.
I mean, I'm not saying, but when Russ was putting up triple doubles, that was all we ever talked about.
But he was also in that OKC team was in the playoffs.
That is true, but it wasn't a very good OKC team.
That is also
Russ carried that team. It was like Russ, Steven Adams, and then the rest.
Listen, man.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards is by far one of my favorite young players, and like obviously he's great on the court, but even like listening to this man in interviews after the game, he's funny as hell. Like he's
just a
always
fun
joking
player
around.
overall.
Yeah, he's just so much fun to watch. You know, I don't know. It feels like he's just so much fun to watch. And so is Cat. I mean, they're both so gifted offensively. It's wild.
Yeah, I got Cat and Edwards.
I loved Sabonis, so I'm always willing to lean towards that duo. But after hearing all your guys' points, I think I'm gonna have to agree with you guys for this one.
Okay. All right. So round 2. Here's where the 1 and 2 seed come in. We have the 1 seed of Embiid and James Harden against the 16 seed of Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards. I think Cat and Ant's run went pretty well, but I think they're ending right here. I don't any naysayers on that one.
No.
I don't think there's really much discussion that needs to be done for that one. I think Harden and Embiid are two of the maybe top 10 best players in the league right now.
Yeah.
They're just
I just think that duo down the road, I might have some trouble voting for them since I haven't seen enough games with them playing together. But they're going to make it pretty far.
And
for me.
the best team, the first very competent team they played against, they shit the bed.
Exactly.
That is true.
But I just think, it's hard until that could have been a fluke game. We don't know. So I think until you get more on it, I think it's kind of hard to go against them.
The other thing I got to say is I think it was a fluke game on Harden's part, not so much Embiid, because Embiid still put up good numbers.
Yeah.
And also it was an emotional game because it was Ben Simmons' I think homecoming to the 76ers, even though he didn't play, and I don't think he will play.
It wasn't even a homecoming game. He was walking into hell that night.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I still don't think he's gonna play this season. If he does, it'll be in the playoffs if they make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay. So next is the 2 seed of LeBron James and Anthony Davis against the 18th seed of CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram.
I got CJ and Brandon Ingram.
I think I'm gonna be honest. Like, it's tough because obviously LeBron is still giving his case for one of the best players in the world.
Oh yeah,
he is
He's leading the league in scoring at 37 years old. He is the only bright spot about that Lakers team right now.
The one thing I got to say about Anthony Davis is you don't know which Anthony Davis you're going to get. If you get the quote unquote bitchy AD, he's just going to stand outside the 3-point line and shoot. He won't do anything.
They went all for monetization.
But if you get the Pelicans AD that goes inside and will basically quote unquote fight you inside, then you're going to do well. I mean, I did cuss in the last episode.
Anthony Davis has always been more of a finesse big than a power big.
Yeah.
And to start the season, he's always been like, he not always been a shooter, but like he's become to that point where he'll shoot mid range, he'll even pull three. So to start the season, he wasn't hitting his jump shots. He wasn't doing anything on offense. Now he's been very good defensively this year, but on offense, when he wasn't hitting his shots, he was just kind of out there.
You're not wrong on that.
You're not.
It's like he chose when he wanted to show up.
And the thing about the Lakers that really upsets me as a Lakers fan, and I'm sure any basketball fan that watches the Lakers, is the Lakers are Russ or LeBron have the ball up the court, and the other four guys are just standing there, not doing anything the whole possession. Like they literally play 5-out ball with a team of no shooters.
You're not wrong on that.
Why?
The other thing about that is I feel like the Lakers, and it's kind of like known to this point to when LeBron is going to do LeBron type things, so you don't really have to do anything. He's going to carry you to playoffs, then that's when you show up.
So now my vote, I think if this one's closer than it really should be, I'm still going to give it my vote to LeBron and Davis just for the fact of LeBron at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you're debating arguably one of the best players in the league, if not the best player in the league, against two borderline all-stars or all-stars.
Yeah.
And you can't argue that 2 seasons ago that exact duo won a chip together. I mean,
Yep.
It's just their chemistry is definitely there. It's just a matter of if these guys can get up and down the court without breaking something.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that.
All right, so we're giving that to LeBron.
Yeah. I don't know how far they'll make it in this, but I think they at least win that one.
They at least get out the first round.
So
not
now,
like they will in the real playoffs.
Yeah, you're not. If they even make it.
If they make it. The hell they might be in the play-in.
Yeah. All right, so next is Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving versus Darius Garland and Jared Allen.
Ooh.
I think that's
KD.
I think
gotta give it to
I think it's easy, but I hate to see one of those dudes leave. I hate to see them.
Yeah, I get it. Obviously, like at this point, is KD and Kyrie, but I think Garland and Allen have the potential to. I mean, they're both younger guys too. Like 2-3 seasons, they could be a top 5 duo in this league if they keep progressing the way they are.
I mean, if we were talking purely potential here, I think they'd be up there for one of the first seeds.
Yeah,
but we just
I hope
can't
people
talk about that yet.
I hope people listening understand that. Like, we're not when people get voted out, we're not like shit talking on that duo. It's matchup based. It is matchup based because Darius Garland and Jared Allen are better than some of the duos left, but it's just because who they get matched up against. It's kind of how it works out.
The one thing that I do got to say I do love about Jared Allen is he is not afraid to contest at the rim. He will be willing to get dunked on if that means trying to block a shot.
Yeah.
That he has that I'm going to go up and I'm either going to block this or I'm getting dunked on. It don't matter who wins, but I'm going up there and I'm going to make this hard for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next one, I think this one's going to be our toughest one yet. You have Giannis and Chris Middleton.
So we got the 4 versus the 13.
Yes, correct.
Honestly, this is going to be a surprise, but I'm going to give it to Jokic and Aaron Gordon because even though Giannis is built like he is, I think Jokic, I think he's going to out-physical him, and then Aaron Gordon, in my opinion, is going to out-. I think Jokic and Gordon are going to out-physical Giannis and Chris Middleton.
I completely think that, but for the opposite. I think Giannis and Middleton would out-physical Jokic and Gordon.
You think so?
I think so. I think Giannis himself could out-physical almost anybody in the league.
I mean, not Zion, because we've seen how that went.
yes. Zion's also added 60 pounds since that moment too. So
that is true.
He's just getting ready for that cut, right?
Hell yeah. He's gonna be insane when he comes back.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, I got Jokic and Aaron Gordon moving on.
Okay, I have Giannis and Middleton. So Cole, you're a tiebreaker here. That's why we need third.
You have an MVP case in Jokic right there. I mean, last year's MVP, easily winner of this year's MVP.
You also have a
unless Jokic does
candidate in
something more.
Giannis too, because he's third.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's just as worthy of being an MVP as Jokic. Just voter fatigue and just seeing him win a chip last year has him kind of out of people's minds a little bit. And you have Chris Middleton, and that duo won a chip together last year. I just don't think you can refute that duo. I have them going.
Okay.
All right.
So that was a good one. That's definitely a close one. Any given night, it could be the other duo. That was a good one.
Oh yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
All right. So next we have the 5 versus 12, which is Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins versus Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
I got Tatum and Brown. I don't think Wiggins has enough firepower to keep up with either one of them on any given night. Curry would have to carry him.
Wiggins has been terrible since All-Star break.
And Jason Tatum has been popping off with multiple 30, 40-point games, and Jaylen Brown has been playing his role and still getting 20 to 30 a night.
And Curry has not been – I mean, congrats to Curry again on hitting 20,000 points.
And the NBA record for three-pointers.
Mm-hmm. But he has not been – like we've already talked about this earlier, he has not been his full self this season either. Any other season, I probably would pick Steph and Wiggins. But I think the way they played this season, I might give it to Brown and Tatum.
Yeah, I think I know, Levi, I know you're a Celtics lover, but I'm just not a big fan of the Celtics, especially being a fan of the Bulls and the Nets. So I hate to go with – yeah, I'll admit to it. But I always went DeMar. Like, I only went to the Bulls because of DeMar.
That's fair.
Yeah, I said I was trying to pick a team. I haven't picked it yet.
So are we giving that to Tatum and Brown?
Yeah, I don't think I can disagree with that.
Yeah, that's probably gonna upset a few people, but that it is what it is.
Now Curry is possibly one of the best point guards to ever play.
Oh, for sure.
Not knocking him, but I just think Jason Tatum. What is he like? Not even 24 yet.
Yeah, and let me remind people that this is not all time list, because all time obviously Steph is gonna be over Tatum and Brown.
We're talking about right now.
This season for how they've played this season. So next is Chris Paul and Devin Booker against Luka. Pretty much just Luka.
Even though I love Luka, I gotta give it to Paul and Booker.
Yes, I agree with that.
I agree with that as well.
I think you have a superstar in Luka versus one of the greatest point guards of all time and a all-star level shooting guard.
Yeah,
I think it might be closer than cut and dry, but I think we all can disagree that Paul and Booker.
Yeah.
Now this one's gonna be a tough one too. 7 versus 10. Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo versus John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr.
Ooh. This is going to upset some people, but I got Ja and Jaren Jackson Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not knocking Jimmy or Bam because they're both really good, but I just think Jaren Jackson Jr. is playing to the level or outplaying Bam defensively, and Ja is just, in my opinion, he has the potential to be better than Jimmy.
Now, people might be like, oh, that's recency bias. And yes, it is, because we're talking about this season.
Yeah.
I mean, and we also gotta think about the fact that Ja is potentially up for MVP, and in my opinion, he should be winning Most Improved Player this season. So I
know a lot of people love Jimmy Butler, and he has a fantastic story from being homeless to playing like Division 2 or 3, and then to Marquette, and then he's a fantastic story. I love Jimmy Butler.
I think he might have went to JUCO.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was JUCO. Fantastic story. I love Jimmy Butler, but yeah, this season, based off this season, Ja's been better than Jimmy, and I think Jaren Jackson's been better than Bam. So I think it's pretty,
Yeah.
Okay. What do we got next here? Was it 7? Okay, so the last matchup of the second round is the 8 versus the 9. DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine against Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert.
This one's tough.
Mm-hmm. Yes, this one's very tough.
I've said it already. I have a little bit of bias towards DeMar DeRozan, so I'm going to go with that duo every time for now. But
that's fair.
I completely understand the other side as well. I mean, they both have shown that they can perform together, but my edge goes towards the Bulls for this one.
And I do agree with that. DeMar's been one of the best players in the league this season.
I give my edge to DeMar and Levine because in my opinion, they've been playing together better than Mitchell and Gobert. People are going to hate me for that, but I think that's it because if you look, how far has Mitchell and Gobert gone into the playoffs?
Yeah, they do struggle in the playoffs. No, not. I don't want to say they do, as in Donovan Mitchell, because obviously Donovan Mitchell has proved himself.
The Jazz struggle in the playoffs.
Yes, and Rudy Gobert struggles when teams go small and make him play perimeter.
Yeah,
which then makes him obsolete because he's a traditional big man down low.
Yes,
and he works good against the Jokic's, the Embiids. Even Giannis to a point. But when you get him in there and you got him going up against a guy like PJ Tucker or Grant Williams or Bobby Portis, he's going to make him stretch the floor.
Okay, so next round, we have the 1 versus the 8, which is Joel Embiid and James Harden against DeRozan and Zach LaVine. I think personally, this is where the Bulls' run ends. They've been great this season, but I don't think they stack up to, an MVP candidate and still one of the best players in the league, James Harden.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on there. It's Joel and Harden, even though they just keep
going.
Yeah, even though they just started playing together, and there might not be the chemistry like we've seen from DeMar and LaVine. I just think the talent is just a little bit above there.
Yeah, as much as I hate to argue with you guys on this one, I don't think I can.
Okay, so the Cinderella run ends for the Bulls, but it's okay. We still love them. Next is the 4 versus 12 seed. Giannis and Chris Middleton versus Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
All right, so we're at the 4 and the 12.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Giannis and Chris Middleton.
I'm giving it to Tatum and Brown.
Okay, what do you
decide with Paul on this one? I'm going to lean towards Giannis and Middleton.
Okay, now I want to hear your reasoning, Levi. Like I said, I want you to give me the best you can, your unbiased opinion.
The unbiased opinion. Okay, so first off, Giannis is very good, and he can go off at any night. But Middleton is just too damn inconsistent through the past couple years. I just don't see the consistency that would put them above Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Now, Jason Tatum does struggle from the three-point line, but he still puts up 30 points per game, and they still win. Same thing with Jaylen Brown. Both of them could get 30 points a game in this league together as a duo.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's easy to say Giannis. Giannis and Chris, obviously they had the ring together. Giannis is one of the best, if not the best player in the league on any given night.
Winning the championship this year. I'm calling it.
Okay, you heard that here on J&G Sports Network. So if it happens,
bring me my money.
But I can't say I fully disagree with you wanting to go Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. They're phenomenal together for sure.
Oh yeah.
I just think Giannis and Middleton have that edge over them.
The only point I have against Giannis and Middleton is Middleton's inconsistency, because he could shoot terribly and only get 10 points as compared to Tatum, who could shoot poorly and still get 20.
Man, I just don't. It's kind of hard to knock anything really Giannis does, because people used to knock that he had his lack of shooting. Then next you know, this man comes out is pulling pull up middies, pull up threes, spin jumpers. Came out with a bag.
I'm sorry. I think Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, the star power between them is over Giannis and Middleton combined.
That's it's definitely a fair argument. But the majority's going to win here, and I'm glad we have Cole here for this episode. That way we have a tiebreaker. It does make it nice. So next we'll do the 2 versus the 10, which is LeBron and Anthony Davis versus Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr.
This one gets tough because
it does.
It's LeBron, but then again it's AD.
Mm-hmm. And we say that like AD's terrible, which obviously he's not.
He's a good player.
He's been good. He's not been compared to what Anthony Davis is and should be. I'm sorry. Compared to what the idea of Anthony Davis is and what he should be and what he's shown he can be and what he's been this season are just two completely different things.
Yeah, let's just put it like this. Anthony Davis a couple years ago was a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Now I don't even think he's in the conversation for it.
He's been very good defensively, but he's just not been in the conversation for
No, I think his defense is going down since then. In my opinion, he's still playing great defense. It's just not what it used to be.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I got Jaren Jackson Jr. I'm sorry.
Okay. What do you have, Cole?
I think on this one I might go with Ja and Jaren Jackson Jr. If we're talking about this season only, right?
Yes.
And I just don't think Anthony Davis is top 10 in like really anything this season. So I just can't put him up there with that other duo. Even though Jaren Jackson Jr. isn't any kind of star,
he's leading.
I just love the
decoy
Memphis
race.
team.
Jaren Jackson's leading the decoy race.
So I just have to side with Ja and Jaren Jackson Jr. on this one.
Yeah, and it does suck because I am a Lakers fan. I love LeBron, and I mean Anthony Davis too. I love both of them. They're great. They're fantastic. But yeah, Ja and Jaren Jackson have just been better this year. I'll give them my vote too.
Yeah.
Okay, so last of this round is Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving versus Chris Paul and Devin Booker. I think it's Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. I think the only thing that makes it closer is the fact that Kyrie doesn't play home games.
Yeah. Which is soon to change, correct?
I don't know because they let him sit courtside now, but he can't play, which makes no sense to me. How can you sit on the bench with your team but then not be able to walk into the court?
I guess because of the mask. I guess still the mask mandate. He's sitting on the bench wearing a mask and he's not out playing. I don't know.
I knew one thing though. If they match it with Toronto first round, he can't play at all. Because
that's right, because they're going to be in Toronto.
Yeah, they Toronto has a thing. They don't care. Like you cannot. So he won't play. If they play Toronto, he won't play at all. I don't think.
Wow.
I get what you're saying. Let's see. The only thing I have is that Booker and Paul made it to the finals as compared to Katie and Kyrie last year. Kyrie didn't even fucking play.
Yeah.
I think yes, I get what you're saying, but I think if we stick to our criteria of this year, Kevin, I for the longest time I really disliked Kevin Durant because of like obviously the Warriors thing, like everybody else did. But I've come to the point where if I appreciate it, he's arguably one of, if not the greatest scorer of all time. And Kyrie Irving is proving himself too that he literally might be up there in conversation with one of the greatest scorers of all time too.
Oh yeah.
Offensively, he is insanely talented.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give mine to Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving on this one. I really like Chris Paul and Devin Booker. I'm not the biggest fan of Devin Booker, of just him. He's a great player, but I don't know. For something about Devin Booker, I'm just not a huge fan of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that. And yeah, my vote's going to Katie and Kyrie.
And that's where mine's going to go as well.
Okay, Final Four. We're almost done with this. Come on, guys. We have these are okay. You have Joel Embiid and James Harden versus Giannis and Chris Middleton.
Ooh.
My personal bias would say Giannis because I really love Giannis, but I think it's I don't even know. I don't even know if I can pull an answer out of that.
I want to go with Giannis, but if we're like even just our last argument, just the raw talent between KD and Kyrie, despite them not playing much, we kind of have to give that to Embiid and Harden as well. Just we haven't seen them play much, but we know that what they are, they're capable of almost anything in the league.
Yeah, I think Middleton, kind of like what Levi was saying in the last argument. Middleton kind of drags down. He doesn't drag down Giannis, but he
doesn't
does,
play,
but not like a bad way. Like it's kind of weird how to put that. Like it's not shit talking Middleton by saying he drags him down. He's just not at the same tier that Giannis, Embiid, and Harden are.
Yeah,
Middleton one night will go 12 for 18 and put up 30 points or however many he puts up. Then the next night he comes out and goes 2 for 20 and puts up 6, 7, 8 points.
Yeah. So I would give my vote to Embiid and Harden.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is John Morant and Jaren Jackson versus Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant.
I am going with the Cinderella story with Ja and Jaren Jackson Jr.
Ooh, wow.
I feel like as much as I want to, I can't bring myself to do that.
And
I really want to. But like we were just talking about, the pure talent of KD and Kyrie is just, it's,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Everything in my heart wants me to say the Grizzly duo right there, but I just,
here,
like Paul said, my brain is leading the other way. I have to go with KD and Kyrie.
here, hold on. Let me defend my point here real quick.
No, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Ja right now this season is better than Kyrie at his peak.
I disagree with that.
I don't know.
I think it's close. I definitely think it's close.
I think Ja, if he's not passed, he's right there. And obviously, Kyrie's not what he used to be. He's still a great player. But at this point in the season, how they're playing, I got Ja over Kyrie. And Jaren Jackson Jr., Defensive Player of the Year candidate. We already talked about that. He's not going to stop KD, but he's going to give KD a run for his money.
Yeah, nobody can stop
That's
KD.
true.
No one's. I mean, hell, when I think it was the Bucks played the Nets, PJ Tucker told his teammates, "You guys guard everyone else. Make sure they don't score." I got KD because he knew KD was going to score, but he was going to make his life miserable. That's why I have Ja and Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah, and I think the general opinion, the public opinion of Kyrie Irving got very, very skewed when all his off the court issues started. Or I don't want to say issues, but all of his off the court fanatics started. I think people look at that and they kind of forget just how damn good Kyrie Irving is at basketball.
He was good, but my knock on him was when he played for the Celtics.
Yeah.
I'm a Celtics fan. I will never forget that. And then him saying, "Oh, I'm gonna stay in Boston," and then he leaves. Come on now. Like, I understand him leaving, but don't tell us I'm staying. Then you leave, and then when you play, you bring the team down in a sense.
Yeah, I definitely understand being upset as like being a Celtics fan at that situation. But like I said, I am gonna give my vote to KD and Kyrie.
Should have never traded Isaiah Thomas.
Okay, so finale. Oh man, we have Joel Embiid and James Harden against Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving.
Ooh.
I think this one's tough. Off the top of my head, I don't have an answer on that.
I think I have one off the top of mine, but I'm gonna let you guys talk first because I'm still chewing on it a little bit.
I need to hear opinions on you guys have before I really can give them. Levi, you can start with this. I want to hear your opinion.
So I got Joel Embiid and Harden.
Okay.
To go over KD and Kyrie. My point for this is Harden can play point guard. He can play shooting guard. He can play whatever you want him to play. Kyrie, except for that one game to where he shot very efficiently, and I don't think he dribbled that much. Other than that game, he has been get the ball in my hands. I'm going to score that way. Harden, you can go off ball, on ball, doesn't matter. Joel Embiid, on ball, off ball, doesn't matter. I think they gel together better and work better than KD and Kyrie.
I know. I would personally take Kyrie Irving over James Harden. The report
and I would as well. I agree with that.
I remember that report came out a couple weeks ago, where one of the things that really hurt Irving and Harden's relationship is when they would one-on-one in practice, and Kyrie would dog James Harden, lock him up, bucket him, and he would shit talk James Harden while he was doing it, and James hated it. Because as we've come to learn over the years, James Harden cannot take criticism from anybody.
He also can't play defense.
He's gotten better, but yeah, he's still not great.
I honestly, I still got Harden over Kyrie. That's just my opinion.
I definitely don't think you can go wrong with either one of them. James Harden has your accolades, but that's, I think, the only reason. I don't want to say the only reason, but like I think the reason he has the MVP and Kyrie doesn't is because outside of that 1 year in Boston where he kind of got hurt, Harden had his own team for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Kyrie never really had his own team when he was at his peak. I mean, you could be like, yeah, he had his own team in Cleveland for the first couple of years, but that team was shit. I mean, that team was bad.
I mean,
and he was a young player.
Let's not sit here and act that the Houston Rockets, when Harden was there, was all that good.
They
'Cause
made it into
they
the playoffs.
weren't.
They won multiple rounds into the playoffs.
because of James Harden.
But
Who they
I
have
would.
on that team? Dwight. Because
Would you?
once
I think. Let me. Would you rather have Dwight Howard or Anthony Bennett?
Anthony Bennett.
Okay.
Because at that, no, I'd rather have Dwight, but still, at that point, Dwight just got out of the Lakers. He didn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And he
I'm not
wasn't
saying that
in the right mind space, in my opinion, to be on a team with James Harden. Because, in my opinion, James Harden plays a lot like Kobe.
I don't want to sit here and say that the Houston Rockets team was like fantastic. Obviously, like James Harden was a big bulk of that team, but I think the supporting cast he had in Houston was better than the supporting cast Kyrie had in Cleveland before LeBron came.
I can agree with that.
And I don't think you really. I think obviously it was good for Cleveland for LeBron to come back. They won a championship. That whole Cinderella story, blah blah blah. You know, the I'm coming home thing was great for that city. But I think LeBron coming back really stunted Kyrie Irving's potential to make that his team.
Yeah.
And I think since that, he never got that opportunity. It's one of the things he didn't like about playing with LeBron. That's why he wanted to leave. He wanted his team. And I feel like he never even really got, because even in Boston, it was labeled as his team. I don't want to say it was, but you had Jason Tatum was on that team. Was Jaylen Brown on the team?
Jaylen Brown was on the team at that point, I think, but I think that would have been near his rookie year or his second year in the league.
Yeah. So like they were both young, but they those were two. Tatum and Brown were both top picks. So like it might have been labeled as Kyrie Irving's team, but they had two young, really good players coming in. So like I don't feel like Kyrie ever got the chance to walk into a team and be like, "This is my team." You know what I mean?
And another thing,
I think the only reason he doesn't have like the awards that Harden has.
The other thing about that is we also got to put in the fact that Al Horford was on that team, and if anything, in my opinion, that was Al Horford's team.
That is a crazy sentence I never thought I'd hear. But hey.
Because if you look at it, Jason Tatum was young and really good. Jaylen Brown was young and really good. Nobody on that team really had the playoff experience except for Kyrie, but that was not Kyrie's team.
Yeah.
Al Horford had the playoff experience. He went deep into the playoffs, played against LeBron. In my opinion, age-wise and knowledge-wise, that was Al Horford's team.
Mm-hmm.
Especially once they traded away Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah. And I don't think you can go wrong with either one of these duos, for sure. Like, I think you're going to be great with both of them. I'm going to give my vote to KD and Kyrie, though.
Now, the only thing I have to say to that is we're talking about play right now. Joel Embiid and James Harden, even though James Harden just got there, they have a better record than KD and Kyrie. KD and Kyrie are almost slipping out of the playoffs.
I think even though now this this might be a bold take, it might not be. I think even though Embiid's an MVP candidate, I think Kevin Durant's a better player than Joel Embiid. I
can agree with you on that.
I agree as well.
And I think I personally have Kyrie over James Harden. So I think, the 1-3 versus the 2-4, if that makes sense. Like I would have a KD, Embiid, Kyrie, Harden. Again, they're all top players in the league, but I would just take the 1 and 3 over the 2 and 4.
I gotta take Joel and Harden.
Okay. Yep. All right. Cool.
I love how this came down to me on the last one.
You're our guest. You get the pressure.
I mean, I agree with every single one of your guys' points. They're all like so correct. Like I just don't know. They're so close, but this might be calling it too soon. We only saw this one game, but we did just watch them play, and we saw one duo destroy, and the other duo get destroyed.
And I do want to say this:
that's the KD Kyrie duo.
And I do want to say this: KD did just drop 50 points against the Nets. Kyrie did not play though.
Wait, he dropped him against who?
Wait,
the Knicks.
Oh,
Knicks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Listen.
That's my only knock against Kyrie. That's another knock against Kyrie is that he's just not playing this year because of the mask mandates and everything.
Well, it's the vaccination because he doesn't.
Yeah.
And like that's
his choice.
That's definitely a fair
choice.
Point. Well, yeah, it's his choice, but it's definitely a fair point to knock that. Like, hey, like at least one of these guys, at least two of them are playing. Versus you're getting half of Kyrie Irving, blah blah blah. But I mean, and that's definitely a valid point. But I'm still just going to take Kyrie and KD.
And I use that Kyrie absence excuse. I use that to cancel out my Kyrie or Harden and Embiid haven't gotten much playing time together. So I just kind of use those two to cancel each other out. And
Fair.
that's just what puts KD and Kyrie on top for me.
The only thing. Wait, no, I can't say that because they barely even played together last year.
Yeah. I just think at the end of the day, Kevin Durant being the best player out of the group really kind of sets it for me.
Yeah.
I guess
I
it
agree.
settled then. 3-1.
Man, well that was good. That was a really good episode. I think it was a really great debate.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a shocker that KD and Kyrie won. Maybe it is to some people because, like what you said, Levi is the lack of playing time with Kyrie. But I think it's recency. Like when I say recency bias, like within the past couple weeks since James Harden got traded, people are going to probably say them because they've been so on fire besides that one game. But I think if you look at the whole season of work, I mean, James Harden was literally for like the third year in a row bitching and whining and wanting out of a team.
Yeah.
But I guess Kyrie's kind of done the same thing, so it's kind of
Now, I do have a question for you guys. How much different this would have been, and let's just say this because this was a tough debate for us. What if we would have put Jason Tatum above Giannis and Chris Middleton? Because then you would have been putting Joel Embiid and Harden against Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
I think Embiid and Harden would have won that.
You think so?
I agree with that as well.
I think no matter what the matchup would have been, as long as these two didn't face each other earlier, this was going to be our finale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't going to face each other early because of where they were put in the bracket.
Yeah. So, but yeah, okay. So there is one more thing I want to do with this episode before we wrap it up. Kind of fun to like de-stress from a whole ranking thing. If you guys realistically, obviously you guys we don't have the skill level of the NBA players, but if you guys could each, who do you guys think in the NBA you guys play like play style wise?
I mean, you guys have seen me play. I want to hear what you guys have to think.
DeMar DeRozan, this man is a sniper from mid-range.
That is fair. That is definitely fair. That makes sense that he's his favorite player.
I'm not gonna lie, I was hoping someone said that. I like that. Yeah.
When we played, this man was doing fades, baseline fades, and just netting them every single time.
Hey, listen. Once the weather gets better, I mean, we're up here in PA, bro. It's cold, it's snowing, but once this weather gets better, you better bet on this channel, on our YouTube channel, we're gonna get some IRL content of us playing basketball. Cole will be there too. We'll have our other friend Tyler in there. He's playing like a current day Russell Westbrook, but that's okay.
He's playing like Anthony Bennett.
That's okay. Okay, Levi, how about you? Or no, I'm sorry. Cole, who do you? We picked for you, but who do you have?
I was kind of hoping. I was thinking any kind of mid-range shooter. DeMar was definitely up there. Maybe a slight Kobe, but without the whole being Kobe thing.
Kobe in the sense of I throw up any shot I want to.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Levi. No, we have to pick one for Levi first.
Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon.
Yes, except instead of a 7-foot black man, he's not.
I'm a 5'11" white man.
Okay, so.
You guys did see I did have that Curry range when he played.
I've also seen Levi has some mean Dirk fades on me.
So Levi's the type of player that he has the size that he will bully you down low, but he can also spot up and shoot not crazy well, but he can hit him.
Give me that Giannis. Just kidding.
No.
So we lean in Miles Turner, Sabonis kind of guy.
Sabonis doesn't shoot that.
I think Miles Turner is.
I don't have
decent comparison. I don't know if Levi's. His defense isn't bad, but I don't know if it's rim protecting wise like Miles Turner.
No, I can't block shit.
Miles Bridges a little bit more.
No,
he doesn't have the athleticism.
No,
well,
he's up here dumping.
None of us have that though.
That's fair.
It's hard to say. because you're right. I do have the size that I can push people around.
Nurkic be pulling sometimes, doesn't he?
Ooh, give him some. He might be a Vooch.
Vooch? That's not even bad. That is not even
He can
bad.
drain that three. He can post up.
That's not even bad because Levi, you definitely are more of an offensive player than you are a defensive player.
Maybe
Not saying
Cat
you're
a little
bad.
bit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't mind that Vooch comparison. I really don't mind that comparison.
But the
Yeah.
only thing I do gotta say is you can ask people I played with. I don't have the athleticism to compete that way. You know, I can't jump out the gym or whatever. But I have the basketball mentality to where I can kind of see stuff before it happens a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take Boost. I think that's I'll take Vucevic. That ain't bad.
Is that who you pick for yourself, or do you have somebody else you have in mind?
I mean, I was thinking. The way I was thinking is a Kelly Olynyk-esque. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Okay.
But I'll take the Boost over the Olynyk, even though I think Olynyk is a better 3-point shooter than Boost.
Yeah, that's down. All right. So for me, who do you guys have for me?
LeBron James.
No, honestly, I'm looking like Luca.
Okay. What
You,
makes you say that?
I mean, you drain them from. You're that triple threat. You can pull up, you can lay up on me, and then you got those gnarly 360 windmill dunks.
Oh yeah. Every once in a while, I'll be pulling one of them out.
If people don't know,
So-
Paul is a 6'8" white man that has a 37-inch vert.
Yeah.
He's actually in college right now. So
I don't know. I think I don't know. It's tough because I think I'm a decent shooter. Like I'm decent at shooting. Like I'm definitely,
I know who you play like.
I think I have a pretty good like when we all play together, we really haven't played teams other than 2-on-2, but I have pretty good vision with the ball, like passing vision.
So you think like Chris Paul?
I think so because like I think that's fair. I think,
No, I can see that.
I definitely have like a decent shot from like, anywhere in the court. Not
Yeah.
obviously not too deep, but like, decent shot. I can get the ball out. I play some pretty hands up defense. Again, I'm like decent at a lot of things, but I'm not like great really at anything.
I respect that, Chris Paul.
That doesn't mean Chris Paul isn't great at anything. I just, think about myself.
How about that Kuzma?
All right, you're gonna delete it off the podcast.
Now hear me out.
I was about to say some whack shit right here.
Kuzma can shoot. You can shoot.
Mhm.
Kuzma can actually. He isn't great at assisting, but he can pass. You can pass. Kuzma to Paul.
But yeah, no, okay. So you got everybody listening. Got to remember that. All right, I am Chris Paul. Cole is DeMar DeRozan, and Levi is what was he? Miles Turner.
Yeah.
Or no,
Nikola
Vucevic.
Jokic. Oh yeah, Vucevic.
Nikola
That's
Jokic.
That's who's sitting in these chairs talking right now.
Yep. Tyler,
Vucevic.
I want a legitimate.
Andre Roberson.
No, because he doesn't even try on defense.
That is true.
Other than smacking. But his man can't shoot for more than 5 feet.
Jokic?
Tyler's gonna listen to this episode and be like, "You dumb ass."
He's gonna come after us for this.
I just don't think
I
Tyler
don't-
plays enough basketball to even really give him a comp, and I don't think would be too upset about that.
No.
The only thing I could say is Roberson. But
He
it's
be
just- he does. It's just, you need a speedy, someone fast that just runs after the ball
Yeah.
and can't
Does.
shoot.
He does do that. He does get the ball.
So we're going with Russell Westbrook on this.
Yeah. Because I love Russell Westbrook, but man, he has been so bad.
Oh my lord! And everyone goes with that Russell Westbrook chant, and he goes like, "It's getting to a point to, and like y'all got to stop."
I mean, yeah, they were
I'm
like
just
threatening
like-
his family and shit like that. And that was like that's far.
It is like it's one thing if it's a joke, an inside joke for NBA fans. You know how there's Westbrook, but it's another thing when you're going after someone's family.
Yeah, that's too
You just take it too far. And we do have to remember this is a game. These are human beings. They will make mistakes.
Yep.
They aren't perfect.
I mean, man, James Harden be out of the strip club whenever the hell he wants to. So
I mean, he's single and it's legal.
Yeah. All right. So, and you guys have anything else you would like to add to the end of this?
Ja Morant for MVP, Most Improved Player. Jaren Jackson Jr. for Defensive Player of the Year.
I don't know if he's a Celtics fan or a Grizzlies fan at this point.
Hey, I've liked the Grizzlies since the Mike Conley, Marc Gasol days.
Sounds like a typical Lakers fan. I've liked them for years. Man.
I haven't told anybody, but I secretly like them.
No, they're not my main team.
Or Bulls fans now.
Hey,
They're not my main team, but they've been in there.
Nets fans.
I am a diehard Celtics fan, I will tell you that.
I've been fans since the Jason Kidd days, New Jersey. Man, I love that man.
I've been fans since they drafted Michael Jordan.
Oh, man.
And this kid is like fucking 16. I've been fans since they drafted Michael Jordan. You weren't even alive.
All right. Well, I think this was a pretty good episode. It was a lot of fun being on here with you guys.
yeah.
Cole, you are welcome back anytime. Just let us know.
No, thank you guys for having me. I had a really great time. I'd love to talk basketball with you guys another time.
Maybe
Whenever you guys will have me.
Maybe next time we'll rank all-time teams.
Oh, I like that.
That's a good idea. I'll post this. It'll be on Spotify. It'll be on YouTube. On Anchor. Put down in the comments any ideas you have for us. If nobody comments, we'll make up our own ideas. It'd be like that.
Oh yeah, Cole. One question for you: do you watch college basketball?
A little bit. So I go to Penn State. So I was watching a little bit of the Penn State Purdue game. A little disappointing at the end, but that's whatever. But I'm not a big college basketball guy.
So I do have a question for you then.
Go for it.
March Madness comes around, right? You got the seeding 1 to 16, 4 different brackets, right?
Yeah.
Kentucky and Auburn are slated as 2 seeds, right?
Okay.
Tennessee's slated as a 3 seed. Tennessee has beaten Kentucky 2 times, beat Auburn once, beat North Carolina, and beat Arizona. They've beaten 7 top 25 teams, but they don't have them higher than a 3 seed, and they just won the SEC tournament. How do you keep them out of a 2 seed or potentially the last 1 seed over Baylor?
Yeah, wow. Yeah, that seems a little bit of a snub.
Yeah, I don't watch college basketball, so I'm kind of lost here. It's just March Madness can be fun to watch. Like I'll make a bracket and stuff like that, but I don't know. I have a hard time keeping up with that with NCAA college basketball than I do NBA, which is weird because I love college football, but I don't know. College basketball just for some reason just doesn't hit with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't sit right with me, especially since I'm a Tennessee fan.
He's a Boston fan, Tennessee fan. It's crazy.
Hey! My teams are the Tennessee Vols for any sport in college, the Boston Celtics for NBA, the Steelers for the NFL, the Yankees for baseball.
This is a wild. I mean, I guess mine's not much better. I'm a Lakers fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm an Orioles fan. And I'm a Penn State college fan, so I'm all over the place too.
Oh, there we go.
What about you, Cole?
I'm a Patriots football guy.
I hear this guy.
Probably a Bulls basketball guy, and I'm a Mets baseball guy.
You're a Mets baseball fan.
I just decided on that one.
My roommate's from
New York, so
I don't feel like I've ever heard that sentence before. I don't feel like I've ever heard. Yeah, I'm a Mets fan.
Hey, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it.
That's great. Well, great episode, guys. We'll be back again sometime, probably the end of this week or next week. We'll figure that out. Still working on the schedule. But yeah, so we'll come up with something for next time. You guys let us know. So yeah, it's been Jay, and that's been G over there.
What's good?
And there's been Cole over there too.
Yeah, thank you guys very much. It was so fun.
It's been J&G with a little bit of S.
Yeah. And we'll see you all in the next episode. Peace.
Catch y'all later.
See you guys.